I don't know if you guys watched, if you guys got the chance to watch the concert of Le Seraphim. Oh my god, they're the best performers for me, among girl groups of all time. Oh yeah, please like the stream. If you're not a hater, please like. If you're a hater, also just like, because you're here. Please like the video. I keep on forgetting. Someone suggested that I do you know, like occasional reminder to like the video. Will Big Hit create another GG? Will Big Hit? I don't think Big Hit will. They are launching a boy group. So I know that they already have their fandom manager. Within Big Hit, they have their fandom manager, and they are starting to open official, not official, but there are fan accounts on Twitter and different social media that says fan accounts, but they're actually supported. So they already have that. Okay, so I don't know if you got the chance to actually watch their concert. If you haven't, I posted it on Patreon, at least part of it. Just because just just because I just found this funny. So Ronaldin said, Hobie, I guess Hobie was trying to speak in Filipino, in Tagalog, which is our native tongue. And he said, walang uunge. And that is supposed to be walang uuwi, which is don't nobody's gonna go home. Nice try. Nice. I appreciate the effort, Hobie. Okay, so for me, after watching the concert, I could definitively say that they are the best girl group performers for me of all time, bar none. They are the best. And not just that, they're also very intelligent in how they design the entire concept. The one thing that is very different in this album is that they have more creative control. In fact, Yunjin actually talked about that. She directly stated that she she said that this is the look, essentially the look, and the environment of Hot was actually her contribution, or at least the group's contribution, not just hers. But it definitely came from her, or from the group. She said that Bonnie and Clyde was actually a major thing for them. So they have way more creative control here. She also ended up writing 4 of the 6 tracks, or 3 of the 5 tracks, or something like that. But she definitely wrote the lyrics for the Carrier single, Hot. Okay, she didn't write Coming Over. She didn't write that. That was written by by a British group. Okay, so they were they began the concert in a very, very surprising way. They actually opened with Ash, which is a slow song from their current album. And it was very surprising because it wasn't a hyped song. Usually, um, performers would choose to open with a really hyped song to get the crowd into the mood of partying with them. But they opened with Ash. I don't know if you've listened to their album. If you are going to listen to their album, and if there's only one song that you will listen to, please listen to Ash, because it's just pure poetry, pure poetry. So it was written by Yunjin, and the gist of the message of the song is that it is that moment when you burn, it's like a phoenix kind of thing. You burn and something new actually comes alive. You feel that it's that moment when you feel the pain creeping into your body, and you feel so alive and also on the brink of death at the same time. So that's the gist of the song. It's that moment when you're fully aware that you're suffering, but also fully aware that you're transitioning into something. And I thought it was such a smart choice for them to open with this song, because it is sort of the song that ends their story with what they went through last year. for all of last year, they have been so defined by Min Hee-jin, what Min Hee-jin did to them. And this is the song that closes that. This is the song that sort of describes their victory over what Min Hee-jin did to them. So it was very symbolic for them to open with this song, because right in the beginning, they're sort of saying, this is not about Min Hee-jin anymore. This is our story. We want to leave that story behind. We don't care about her anymore. So I thought that was very, very intelligent for them to open with this, even if it is not a hype song. Next is that they sang live from start to finish. I don't know if you've if you've been watching any clip of um uh Lady Gaga in Coachella, but she has been burning people left and right because she was like, I sing live. So in the first day, she actually made it a point to pause and say, for those that are asking if I sing live, it is absolutely live. I've never lip synced. And on the second day of Coachella, she had a microphone problem in the beginning of her opening of her set. She had a mic problem, so she wasn't heard. So she was given another mic, so she snatched her headset and then she started using the microphone. At the end of her set, or in the middle of her set, oh no, sorry, at the end of the set of week two, she said, I apologize, I had a mic troubles in the beginning, but at least I sing live. So she was saying, and she said, I'm not, and for as long as you're paying me money to see me here, to see me perform, I'm not gonna waste your time by lip syncing. And I was like, girl, you have some beef with some people. But anyway, when I was watching this concert, I just suddenly remembered Lady Gaga, because she wasn't pulling her punches. And you have, if you can, please watch her set, because she's so funny whenever she says that. She's actually getting it from somewhere. Okay, so they actually sang live from beginning to end. There were some parts where there was a backtrack. I'll say 50% of the time they had a backtrack, and 50% it was just their raw vocals, which I admire, because as you know, they don't just sing, they actually sing and dance live. But it was still flawless. Even on songs when they weren't using um, backtracks, they were still flawless. And I think this was that one night when they proved to everybody, because when people started this narrative that they were bad singers, it was one of the funniest things that I've ever witnessed online. I mean, Yoonjin and Chaewon are two of the strongest vocalists in K-pop. And this girl, Yoonjin, is actually a mezzo soprano. So for you to say that she's a bad live singer is just absolutely hilarious. But here they proved it. Not that they have not proved it before, but here they actually showed everybody we're singing live. But they have been showing that, just to be clear, they've been showing that from the beginning, but especially tonight because it's their own concert. So for 2.5 hours, they were actually singing live. Her set was long. Her Gaga set was long. Just to digress a little, it was long and it was also flawless. She was absolutely flawless. I totally understand, because she came from that era of performers where singers actually had to perform live. So I kind of understand how she felt, why she said the things that she said. I know where she's coming from, basically. But if you haven't watched her set, my God, or at the very least, go on Facebook maybe or YouTube and just search for the clips, because she's so funny whenever she says that. I sing live. It's like, okay, is there a score you're trying to settle or something? Okay. So they were flawless, and of course the routine was also flawless. And I am especially proud of Sakura. This is one thing that a lot of people do not understand. She has been an idol since 2000, and that's something that she personally said. She's been an idol since 2000, but she's been an idol since 2000 in Japan. And the training there and the expectation for an idol is very, very different from the expectation from an idol here I mean, not here, but in Korea. So there, it wasn't about standing out, it wasn't about becoming a great singer, it was just making sure that you're part of a cohesive unit, so that when you all dance, you all look cute. So she never really pushed herself to this extent. I don't know if you were able to watch the reality show that she participated in. It was a Japanese and Korean reality show that formed iZone or IZ1, or iZone. So that was the iZone, right? So that was that reality show. And I remember this one clip because so she was singing, and the judges weren't impressed because she didn't really, as I've said, in Japan you don't really train for that heavily to sing and to dance. And Sakura is 27. And so when it was her turn, a lot of the judges weren't actually impressed, and they gave her a low score. She was actually getting booted out. And there was this one judge who said, "Get her in." And she couldn't explain why. It was so funny. Or maybe she did, but she did it off camera. But she was, and everyone was looking at this judge funny. It was like, are you crazy? It's like there's others on that stage that are more deserving. And she was just like, no, just get her in. Trust me. Get her in. Just trust me. And so I guess everybody trusted her because they gave her an A. But I think Sakura knew, even after she got the A, I think she knew that there were other better singers than she was in that round, but she still got the A. And she knew it was because she was Sakura. And that was like, that's a guarantee. You will not, this group, whatever group Sakura was going to get into, it's not going to, she won't, it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail. So, and it didn't fail. The IZ1 didn't fail. Um, so and so that kind of, there was this scene after that when she called her mom, and she cried, and she couldn't explain to her mom why she was crying, because supposedly everything was doing well. Everything was going well because she's she's gonna be a member of the group. But I think that sort of, from then on, when she signed a contract with Source Music, when Bang Shi-yuk scouted her to become a member of Les Seraphim, there was a different set of expectations she never really knew about. But in this concert, she redeemed herself, and she proved to everybody why she is the ultimate idol. She's the idol of idols, and why she's still around. Um, she was absolutely flawless, and I think she deserves better recognition, and people should thank her more, because was actually when Le Seraphim launched, a huge part of the popularity was because of her, because it's Sakura. She's the darling of Japan. You're not gonna fail. That's guaranteed. Like, no matter what you do with that group, you're not gonna fail, because you're not gonna do any worse than what happened with AKB48, right? So it was a guaranteed success because of Sakura. But in this concert, she proved why she deserved the spot, and nobody can question her for it. And then at the end of it, they read a letter that they wrote to their fans. And I would say that the most powerful, the most emotional, is the letter of Sakura to Pionas, or Fearnas, the name of their fandom. But Yunjin's letter, I think, is the most powerful, because it was her sort of really sealing that part of their history, what Minheejin subjected him to. It was her way. With that letter, she's telling everybody, do not, let's not give her. She was telling her fans as well, their fans as well, for them to stop giving Minheejin the power over them. Like, stop it. Don't mention her anymore. Do not allow her to dictate the narrative, because the more you give her credit, the more power you give her. So in that letter, she's saying, this is our narrative now, and we will dictate what's going to happen with our story. So she told the story about a pearl. She said that she asked her fans, like, do you know how a pearl is actually done? It's just like this, um, dust actually goes into a clam or whatever, a shell, and it goes through incredible amount of pressure for years and years until it becomes a pearl. And she said that's what we went through, like a lot of pressure. And she wants to believe that they are now starting to become a pearl. But at the end of it, her point is that I will not allow her to damage the group anymore, and I will not allow her to damage the fandom anymore. So I thought it was the most powerful part. But I would say that the most touching or maybe even funny part is that Bang Shi-yuk was actually crying with them. So when Yoon Jin was actually reading the letter, she wasn't crying. Sakura started crying, so she started crying, and then Bang Shi-yuk started crying as well. And the guy beside him is So Sung Jin, which is the CEO of Source Music. So it was funny to actually see Bang Shi cry because I never saw that with BTS, because he never really showed himself with BTS, right? Like he would take pictures after, or there was that one phone call when they got to Billboard Hot 100. Other than that, he doesn't usually show himself when it's a BTS part. Try to like just notice it. He doesn't really put himself in front. Like if it's BTS, it's just BTS. Talk to BTS. It's like it's a BTS story, then talk to them. So it's so rare for to see his emotion in relation to the group that is actually producing. So to see him here, it was a treat. It was like, oh, so you do have an emotion. um was he really? I thought it was just people editing the video to appear like he was crying at that time. No, he was really crying. There were some fan cams that were on him while Sakura was crying. In the beginning, he wasn't. So it was actually Sakura that made everybody cry. But Sakura is saying that it was actually Yoonjin's letter that made her cry. So if you want to see the concert, go to my Patreon. I actually posted it there. I don't usually post paid content to respect the artists. It's really their living, so they should earn from it. It's just that I do make exceptions when I think it's going to be beneficial to the artist, and I feel like this part is going to be beneficial for the artist. So watch it. You'll be able to watch it on Patreon. I posted some parts of the concert. Okay, that is the last presentation that I have. Do you have questions about BTS, about Les Seraphim? He's acting. He's acting like a dad watching his daughters. I mean, oh, I remember that one documentary of Les Seraphim, and this is the last documentary that they had, that they showed, and in that documentary, Yoonjin was talking to him about the things that they were going through, and he asked a very intelligent question. So when Yoonjin was talking with him, Yoonjin was saying like, people are saying this, people are saying that, and he was like, who are these people? And it was such a simple question, but I thought it was such an intelligent question because he's kind of making Yoon Jin be more concrete on how she feels and who she feels it towards, right? So he's helping her make her emotions clearer by defining specifically what she is talking about. So when Yunjin said like, "Oh, people," and he was like, "Who are these people? Who are you talking about? Who are these people that are hating you?" So I thought it was like that's an intelligent question. That's an intelligent question. Um, okay, let's look for. Do you have questions? It's like Appa watching his Tal on stage. Oh yeah, Tal is daughters. Bang PD. He probably saw how much the girls were hurting and how much they've been through, and he may feel some guilt in hiring MHJ. I'm sure, I'm sure he feels guilty about hiring MHJ. If I get a chance to interview him, it's not the first question that I will ask him. There's way more stuff that I want to learn and ask him. But if he gives me like an hour of interview, I'll be able to ask that question. Do you feel any guilt? I mean, making the wrong hire. It's obviously, I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose. I don't think anybody would actually do something like that on purpose. But you still feel guilty.